Welcome all to my YouTube channel Shweta Gupta Chemistry Classes. As in class 11 we are doing the first chapter, some basic concepts of chemistry. So in that today we will be covering the Dalton's atomic theory. So there are this theory was given by Dalton, and in this he described about the structure of matter. So in this theory, Dalton explained about the structure of matter. So first postulate was every matter, whether it is a solid, a liquid or a gas, it is made up of extremely small indivisible particles. Every matter is made up of extremely small indivisible particles which cannot be divided. Indivisible particles called atoms. Next, atoms of same element. Like if I talk about sodium, then atoms of this element, sodium, will be same in all the respect. Like they will have same shape, size and mass. So all the atoms of sodium will have same shape, size and mass. In the same way, all the atoms of potassium, that is atoms belonging to same element, will have same shape, size and mass. This is postulate 2. Third, now atoms of sodium are different from atoms of potassium. That is, the atoms of different elements will be different in all the respects, like they have different mass, size and different chemical properties. Here the atoms of sodium and potassium are different. They'll have different mass, shape and chemical properties. Next, atoms of same or different element together to form compound atom. What does it mean? Atoms of same element, for example like HH, these are the atoms of same element hydrogen, these combine to form H2. Now this H2 combine with the atom of oxygen and form a compound, that is form water. So atoms of same element can also combine and atoms of different elements can also combine to form compound atoms. Next one. If I take next postulate, I will explain on the basis by taking an example. That is, we have already done the example of water. If we take H2O, then 2 atoms of oxygen into atomic mass of hydrogen is 2 atoms of hydrogen into atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. So 2 into 1 is 2, will take out the ratio in which these two elements combine is 2. Atomic mass of one oxygen atom is 16. If we take out the ratio of two different elements which combine together, then the ratio in which these elements hydrogen and oxygen combines, they will always combine in a simple whole number ratio. 2 into 1, 2 is to 16. 2 is to 16, that is 1 is to 8. So it states that when atoms combine with each other to form, that is atom of hydrogen combine with atom of oxygen to form compound atom, that is they are forming a compound water, then these atoms of hydrogen and oxygen will combine in a simple whole number ratio, that is 1 is to 8. Next, this also we have done. So this generally came from law of constant composition or law of definite proportion. This we have already done. In the same way, next postulate, this also we have done. That is the law of multiple proportion, which states that when two different elements combine to form two or more different compounds, here sulfur and oxygen are two different elements, these two different elements combine to form two different compounds. Then here these elements will be combining in different ratios. Like one atom of sulfur is combining with two atom of oxygen. 1 is to 2 ratio. While in this, 1 atom of sulfur with 3 atom of oxygen, 1:3. Here sulfur combines with oxygen in different ratio. That is, in first one 1:2, and in second one it is 1:3. And what we have done in that law of multiple proportion, when two different elements combine to form two or more compounds, then the mass of one element, oxygen, which combines with a fixed mass of another element, sulfur. Here the mass of sulfur is same, so we'll take out the mass of oxygen atoms. So it is 2:16, and here it is 3:16. If we take out the ratio of the element whose mass is varying, that is oxygen's mass is varying, so we'll take out the atomic mass ratio of oxygen atom here. So it comes out to be 32:48, that is 2:3. So it is here that it is also a simple whole number ratio. So this postulate is in agreement with third law of that is third law. I'm saying it is accordance to law of multiple proportion, and this is in accordance with law of definite proportion. And if you can see this one properly, then this is in accordance with the law of conservation of mass. Matter is made up of extremely small indivisible particles called atoms. The next postulate is, atom is the smallest particle that take part in a chemical reaction. As it has told earlier that atom is the smallest particle and it is indivisible. So next postulate is, atom is the smallest particle which take part in a chemical reaction. It is the atom which actually participates in a chemical reaction. So this was again a postulate given by Dalton. The last postulate is, an atom can neither be created nor be destroyed. You cannot create an atom and you cannot destroy an atom. Again, this postulate is in accordance with law of conservation of mass, that matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. So it says atom can neither be created nor be destroyed. So these are the 8 postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. Hope these are clear to you all. Nextly, we'll do the limitations of Dalton's atomic theory. First limitation, it could not explain the law of gaseous volumes. It could not explain why the gases combine in a simple whole ratio and why they combine in volumes. The Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volume, it could not explain, Dalton's atomic theory could not explain the law of gaseous volumes. It could not explain why the atoms of different elements have different mass, size and valency. This Dalton's atomic theory told that the atoms of sodium and potassium, these are the atoms of different elements. So they are different, they will have different shapes, size and mass. But he was not able to explain why this actually happened. ऐसा क्यों हुआ कि इनके different mass, shape and sizes हुए. Next, could not explain why do atoms of same or different elements combine to form molecules. He was not able to explain at all why the atom of same element or the atom of different elements combine to form compounds or to form molecules. This he was not able to explain. Next, he could not explain why these molecules or the atoms bind together, like hydrogen atom and hydrogen atom. Why they bind together? What kind of binding force was acting between them? This also they were not able to explain properly. So they could not explain the nature of binding force between the atoms and the molecules. And when Dalton was not able to explain about the type of binding force or why this binding force arises between them, then he could not explain or he could not account for the existence of matter in three states. He could not able to explain why matter existed in three states. Next, he was not able to make any distinction between ultimate particles of an atom or a compound. He was not able to distinguish between the particles of an element like H2 and the particles of a compound like H2. He was not able to distinguish between the particles of these two, that is the particles of elements and the particles of water. So first one, failed to explain Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volume, could not explain why the atoms of different element have different mass, shape and valencies, could not explain why atoms of different elements combine to form molecule, could not explain about it, could not explain about the type of binding force, and could not thus explain about the existence of three different states of matter, could not distinguish between the particles of an element and the particles of a compound. So that's all for today. In my next session we will do the modified Dalton's atomic theory. Thank you and have a nice day.